Nicholas Charles Sparks is an American writer born on December 31st, 1965 in Omaha, Nebraska, from a teacher father and a housewife mother. The second of three children, he grew up being educated in the Catholic faith, a strong theme that of religion along with love and destiny in his books. He studied at Bella Vista High School and then at the University of Notre Dame, where he graduated in 1988. The following year, he married Kathy Coate and moved to Newport, North Carolina, where he began his career as a writer. It is no coincidence, then, that most of his books are set in this state. Set in the austere beauty of North Carolina coast in 1946, The Notebook begins with the story of Noah Cullen, a southern farmer who returned home from World War II. Noah is returning a plantation to its former glory and is obsessed with the images of the beautiful girl he met 14 years earlier, a girl he loved like no other. Unable to find her, but recruited to forget the summer they spent together, Noah is content to live off memory until she unexpectedly returns to her hometown to see him again. Helen Nelson is now engaged to another man, but she realizes that her original passion for Noah has not faded over time, although the abyss between their world is too deep to be ignored. He is a peasant. She is the daughter of a high-ranking family. A few weeks earlier, her imminent marriage, Helen is forced to face her hopes and dreams for the future, a future that only she can shape. The story is told from Noah's point of view, now an old man who tells his life to a woman affected by Alzheimer's, a beautiful woman who remembers nothing, but thanks to the words of the man and the poems of Whitman told by retracing his life through the pages of his notebook, the notebook, which he loves to read, we go back, albeit for short moments. The differences between the novel and its film adaptation are many and more or less incisive concerning the character, the plot, the conflict, and the setting. Noah, main character in both the novel and the film, has a contrasting personality. In the novel, he is portrayed as a religious man who always prays and always seeks the miracle for his wife's recovery. In the film, he is more realistic about the different social background between Ellie and him. He is extremely direct and honest with Ellie, even though he knows that he hurts her. Being sarcastic is also Noah's ways of showing the injustice in his life that has to do with Ellie. In the novel, the story in Noah's Notebook begins in October 1946, when Noah was 31 years old. Unlike the film, the story begins on June 6, 1940, with a 19-year-old Noah at the Seabrook Night Carnival. Here, for the first time, he meets Ellie and falls in love with her at first sight. The film has a longer, happier action than the novel to reach the same climax. In fact, in the novel, this phase corresponds to when Ellie goes to Noah's house in New Bern to talk about her engagement. In the film, it corresponds to the moment when Ellie's parents forbids her daughter to meet Noah again. The novel also has a different handling than the film. In the novel, it's their anniversary day when Noah goes to Ellie's room in the nursing home. Ellie finds her memories again that night. At the end of the novel, Noah and Ellie find themselves in the tenderness of their intimacy. It's a happy ending because Ellie finally remembers Noah again and they can spend the rest of their lives together happily ever after. While in the film, Noah goes to Ellie's room the night after she wakes from her coma. Ellie remembers him once again. They care about the moment and die in their sleep. It's a sad ending because Noah's time with Ellie when she finally manages to remember is short. The novel tries to focus on the miracle. Noah tries to make his wife recall the memory by reading her a notebook. The film adaptation, on the other hand, focuses on the love story between Noah and Ellie, highlighting more their fight for the love despite adversity, a love that never fades. Without a doubt, the main theme of the literary work is the strength of love, true love. In this novel, different types of love are visually faced and lived, the most carefree love of the youth. A love at first sight that slowly becomes more and more exciting and that does not give up in front of difficulties such as distant and different social backgrounds. A more mature love, typical of the adulthood. And finally, the sweet and poignant love of two elderly people who find themselves fatigued by the disease that fades away memories and fatigue of a life that has now almost reached its end. With a concise but incisive and engaging style, Nicholas Sparks makes us live the unique and complicated love story between Ellie and Noah, showing us their work, their feelings, and the love that is renewed at every glance. The result is a deeply moving portrait of love itself, of the tender moments and fundamental changes that affect us all. Shining with a beauty rarely found in current literature, the notebook establishes Nicholas Sparks as a classic storyteller with a unique vision of the only emotion that really matters. It's not hard to imagine why this novel was chosen. Love is the driving force of life which drives everyone in one direction, the path of life, and is the same one that embellishes it, decorating gently and sometimes even in harder tones our emotions, making us understand, however, there is the only one who managed to get the upper hand over ourselves, and we just have to, without any power or control, let ourselves be flooded, because powerless in front of it. We can define it as a force, but I would like to speak of a set of many contradictions and concordances which resonate harmoniously, the set around which we discover and know the darkest corners of our emotions, and at the same time, it all. Precisely because we speak of a whole, both physical and above all spiritual, a feeling so beautiful in its simplicity, complicity, fear and anger, joy. And I'm not referring to love reserved exclusively for a couple. Love has different forms. The universal one, the one you can feel for your parents, for a brother, for a friend, for your partner, for an animal. But certainly, in every relationship in which one feels love, one goes through these phases, and there are phases of construction through which we live more unconscious emotions, especially when we are new to it, when we are less aware. And gradually a piece of us is added of which we were completely unaware, and we always come out a bit different, up to the point of transforming those emotions into something deeper and healthier, something that exists a priori, and we make use only the faculty to welcome them without too many questions, without too much effort. We just live them, and there, in that moment, we will consciously realize that we are at a higher level, that we can face any obstacle. I really like this aspect. The truth is that not only do I like it, but it suits me that I can hold my breath away and dive into the headlong. Nicholas Sparks introduced a love that does not fade even when you become old, feelings that remain strong and compelling despite the age, despite the despite. And all of us can believe this equation, which in reality is not so calculable, but that it exists, and we just have to give ourselves the opportunity to live it, believing it every day, and get to the point of arrival, the last day, with exactly the same desire and tenderness of the first, indeed, perhaps, even more eternal. To answer the reason for the choice, I would affirm the simple and naive desire to believe still in the most primordial emotions, those that belong to us, beyond any social conformity, any stereotype and prejudice, beyond us.